Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to the channel. So today we have some pretty stacked Nintendo Switch updates and Nintendo Switch 2 updates with some major developments that you absolutely don't want to miss. From critical system updates that brick the console to brand new details on that which fixes it. Plus within that same update we also do have some pretty cool things that have to do with the Nintendo Switch 2 and new details on game sharing. We also have some news for Tamagotchi Plaza for you physical owners, and there's just a ton to go around, so grab a snack and let's get into it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and of course leave the like, it helps the channel a lot. So let's start with a pretty big one. The Nintendo Switch 2 update 20.0.0 was causing some pretty big issues. It was bricking console. Let me know in the comment section below if this actually affected you. It didn't affect me because I was a little bit too scared to actually start up my Nintendo Switch. I didn't want to risk it. But with that being said, Nintendo recently dropped this system update 20.0.0, which was supposed to be a major firmware update for the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2, but instead, it ended up bricking consoles, which was a major issue for some users. Let me know if that happened to you. Now, this issue was tied to error code 2206-1015. While it didn't affect every user, it was widespread enough that Nintendo responded to this officially, and this is what they had to say. We are currently receiving inquiries from some customers about the occurrence of error code 2206-1015 after updating the Nintendo Switch system from version 20.0.0. We are currently investigating how to deal with this issue and apologize for the convenience or inconvenience. Bricking your system is not a convenience. This isn't some bizarro world. Now, since then, Nintendo has released a patch version 20.0.1 to fix the bricking issue. If you're stuck, you can install the update via system maintenance mode, and I've dropped a link in the description with Nintendo's step-by-step guide for those who need it. Now, personally, I'm still gonna hold off on this update, especially since I will be getting the Nintendo Switch 2 and I have to transfer those things. So just in case something else wonky happens in this update, I'm gonna wait a couple days. Let me know if you're gonna do the same or not, or are you just gonna update and get the fix. Now, here's where things get interesting. The same update actually includes some things about the Nintendo Switch 2 features being baked into the current Switch OS. So according to the patch notes and community findings, the updates introduced several new features, and these are some of the features. So virtual game cards, new ways to display digital purchases like DLC and free software. And by the way, the DLC is also part of the virtual game cards, which I mean that's obvious since I just said virtual game cards, but I'm pretty surprised because I didn't think they were going to do that for DLC. There's also stuff for user verification settings, online license management, multiple save data transfers. There's also things to transfer your current system to the Nintendo Switch 2. We're talking full transfer functionality for when you upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2, and yes, that includes uploading system data to the cloud and if you're trading in or selling your current Nintendo Switch before the new ones arrive. So all that stuff will be on the cloud, so you don't have to wait to sell your system. Now, be aware, uploading the transfer data to the cloud with your original Nintendo Switch or OLED or whichever one you have actually does reset your old console. Here's the official word on that. After you upload your system transfer data to the dedicated server, the Nintendo Switch system will be initialized to factory settings, so keep that in mind. You don't just upload it to the cloud and then you still have the same stuff on your system. With that being said, the next topic that we're gonna talk about is the Nintendo Switch 2 dock details. So it seems that Nintendo quietly revealed a little bit more about the Nintendo Switch 2 dock in a recent video drop. So here's what we know. There's two USB ports on the side, there's an HDMI AC adapter port on the back, there's also a LAN adapter too, and the cooling fan with the auto speed adjustment based on the temperature of the Nintendo Switch 2, which is pretty big upgrade for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, we're gonna be doing 4K 60 FPS on some games and stuff, so it's pretty understandable why they have that in there. And yeah, overall a pretty great look at that. Now, moving on to the Tamagotchi Plaza physical release news. So this is pretty good for physical collectors. Tamagotchi Plaza is getting a full physical release in Japan for the Nintendo Switch 2, and even better, the cartridge includes English language support. If you're collecting physical games like I am, this one's worth picking up, in my personal opinion. If you're interested in the game at all, I am, so it is worth picking up, so I might get it from there. It just depends really on my money in current situation. I might have to GameFly it, which by the way, if you're getting it from Play Asia, the code to save a little bit more on checkout is going to be SAVE2025. With that being said, moving on to the last topic of today. So first up, let's talk about the price hikes. As of May 1st, 2025, Microsoft has raised the price for both the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. The Series S now starts at $379.99, up from $80 from its original price, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And the Series X has a more significant increase. Now the price is $600 US. That's $100 more than the original price. this. Now, I think the big question here that everyone's wondering is, why is Microsoft raising the price of these things? Well, Microsoft explains that it's due to the rising price of cost of development, materials, and other marketing factors. We can't ignore the role of tariffs here either. The US government introduced new tariffs during the Trump administration, and countries like China have also retaliated, impacting the cost of manufacturing tech products worldwide. Now, these price hikes apply to consoles, controllers, headsets, and even the cost of first-party games, which are now expected to jump up to $79.99 for upcoming titles. This has left many gamers feeling like they're paying for more for less value, which, yeah, I understand that as well. I mean, coming from the Nintendo side, it really sucked that Mario Kart was $80. I mean, we went through that whole thing and still are going through that whole thing when it comes to just price increase across the board. Now, speaking of Nintendo, let's switch gears and talk about Nintendo and how this has to do with Nintendo. The Nintendo Switch 2 is set to launch on June 5th, 2025, and it's already looking like a game changer in my personal opinion, just based off of the power and just what it can do when it comes to past consoles and just how some of the games look and feel, or I assume feel because I haven't got my hands on it yet. At the price of $449.99, the Switch 2 is still pretty much more affordable than the Xbox models, and here's why it's drawing a little bit more attention when it comes to these Nintendo Switch owners, or some Nintendo Switch owners I should say. I don't know why I said these Nintendo Switch owners. Also, yes, I did take some energy drinks, so that's why I'm talking so fast. Also, I'm just really excited about the Nintendo Switch 2 in general. But anyways, the Nintendo Switch 2 does offer a lot of value for its price. Not only does it feature a 7.9-inch screen, 1080p display with HDR support when it's connected to the TV, but it also can do 4K output at 60 Hz and 120 depending on what game you're playing. That's right, 4K. I mean, it's been a while. I'm pretty excited to see how these games are going to look on the Nintendo Switch, especially on my new gaming monitor, which I really don't use too much. For gaming anyways, I use it a lot for my computer. And of course, if you're a Nintendo fan, the exclusive games for the Nintendo Switch 2, you're probably highly interested in those. It's also fully backwards compatible to some extent anyways with your current Nintendo Switch library. Plus you have the Joy-Con controllers and of course the custom NVIDIA Tegra processor, which brings more fluid gaming experiences and all that great stuff, you know. It's really great that it's a really great upgrade from your original Nintendo Switch, and when you compare it to the other consoles that are about $200 more, well, it's $150 actually, but you guys know what I mean, $150 more, and the picture compared to other consoles still looks pretty fantastic. Plus you get the portable versions of those games. The value of all of this compared to just paying $150 more seems like the better value, at least to me. Maybe some people have disagreements on that. I personally think the current Nintendo Switch, even though I don't like the extra price on top of it when it comes to all the stuff for that part of the Nintendo Switch, when you compare the value of the two, I think the Nintendo Switch 2 is a better deal. Might be a little bit biased, maybe I am. Feel free to call me out on that in the comment section below as well. But when I'm looking at the both sides on what each one offers, if I'm just interested in getting a pretty great picture and also being able to play a lot of third-party games, plus the exclusive game side, plus Xbox is going to be bringing a lot of these games to the Nintendo Switch as well. We already know that. That might be a pretty big thing to say. I don't know. And again, when it comes to the price, I don't really like the price of a lot of stuff, including the Nintendo Switch 2. And also, I mean, I would love for the Nintendo Switch 2 to be like $350 or $400, but fortunately that's not where we are. Now, if you're interested in the best looking picture and best performance, obviously those consoles are going to be better, but you will have to be paying more for that. And when it comes to me specifically, I have a gaming PC that doesn't have a lot of the good parts that make these games run. I haven't upgraded in quite some time, and I have a PS5 as well, and I'm going to be getting the Nintendo Switch 2. So on my side, when I look at this, I'm like, well, if I was going to eventually pay another $600, would I get an Xbox Series X? No, especially when GameFly is there. I would probably just upgrade my PC with the $600. Actually, it will actually cost more if you include tax, but that's what I would do. Or I would sell my PS5 and get the PS5 Pro. Now, the big question here is how much is the next PS5 and Xbox? Because make no mistake, Sony is 100% going to be increasing their prices. Make no mistake on that. If you think this stops at Xbox and Nintendo, well, you're just absolutely insane and you're wrong, because Sony's not going to look at them and in having them increase their price and just say, oh, well, let's just make less money. No, they're a business. They don't care about you. All they care about is money. Even when they do consumer-friendly things, more than likely it's just to keep the player base happy, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's probably why they do it. And of course, if you're happy with a company, you're more willing to spend money, right? So Sony's eventually gonna do that. And not just Sony, I definitely think that a lot of these companies, like EA, definitely Ubisoft. I say it like that because I'm actually enjoying Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm really excited for the upcoming Assassin's Creed related things. And there's also some other Ubisoft titles that I'm really interested in. And the fact that I know the prices are gonna increase, it's just gonna suck. Good thing is, GameFly is gonna still be there, and that's what I really want to talk about right now, is resurgence of rentals. I feel like this is good for a separate video, but I just want to add this in at the end of this video. I personally think, and this is going to be a prediction, I think rental places are going to have a resurgence when it comes to renting video games. If things keep getting expensive this way, the best thing to do is just to rent at that point, right? That's what I've been doing for a very long time. Services like GameFly, and sometimes even like my friend used to use the library to rent games. And then of course there's Game Pass as well, which that does add value to the Xbox side of things too. I forgot to mention that. And also services that Sony has as well. I feel like these kind of services are gonna be more value going forward. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments section below. And if not on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.